Okay, my friends, I think we've got a perfect storm here. What we have right now is a valid trade at 100. We're up 112.50 on one contract. We have an ignition score of 100 and we're holding. Now we can bring our risk down. Now there's a few. I want to give this thing a little more breathing room, right? But right now we could close out. We could bring our, let's do this. Let's expand this here. We could bring this down to 137.50. Now we're guaranteed, unless we have some sort of technical failure. Now keep in mind, sometimes you can check with any exchange authority. Sometimes the market can move so fast it'll run right through your preset, right? And so sometimes that won't happen. It won't catch. So I don't recommend walking away. I don't recommend. There we go. So we got closed out at 137 bucks. But this is a 2-minute candle scenario, right? If I didn't put that protection in there, I could have just rode with this. We still have 100 ignition. We still have a valid trade at 100. So we're probably going to get a pullback. So I entered on this candle here, right? Now, I probably entered down somewhere in here. I entered at 72.75. So I entered here, okay? Now, as you can see in the next candle, the price went against me. The price went against me almost 200 bucks. Now, normally you could, oh look, here we got a primary short entry, so it's going to keep going. This thing lit off the primary short entry, and we have a continuation indicator here. Now, we're getting a little bit of pullback, right? But all of our systems are telling us that we're still strong to the downside, except for the VMAX. The VMAX is crossing over. Let's just play this out. We got a continuation. So right now, 70. If I had not exited this trade, I currently would be in a drawdown, right? So I would be down $12.50. Now I'd be down 25 bucks. Now I'd probably be down what, 73, 50, 60. I'd be down somewhere around between $50 and $100. But our system is holding. Let's just keep this video going, and we'll see if that pullback, how short-lived or how long-lived, or if it's a reversal, and where the system fails. We would be break even. That would be a short loss, 37 bucks a loss on an ES contract, about 50 bucks in the hole here. I'd be around about 100 bucks. But the system is still. Now it's telling us go ahead and get out. Now we got out at a loss, right? And that told us, we lost about 100 bucks. So following, well, now the VMAX is giving us a short entry. And we still have a valid trade score of 100, and we still have 100 on the ignition. We still have sentiment to the downside showing strong in the orange. It's moved out of the gray neutral. And right now this trade is in profit about 100 bucks. Now it's trying to profit about 200 bucks, right? Short signal on the VMAX. turn that off. So we're about $150 in profit from the entry point where I started at this point. Now we've already closed this trade at 137.50. Now this could be a pause for a continuation, but I think this is a perfect demonstration that time in the market exposes you to unknown happenings, right? Or risk. So if I typically will stop at a pause. If I didn't catch this, you know, I was editing another video and I didn't notice that this had not anything things had triggered over here, right? And that's okay. That's the thing that's a beautiful thing about this is that, you know, the fact of the matter is that I was able to come in here and pop off a quick 137 bucks in on 2-minute candles. I came in down here, so it came in near the end of this candle, right? So 4 minutes, somewhere between 4 and 6 minutes, 137 bucks. You know, that's like a, I don't know what kind of shop you run. You know, is that a diagnostic client? Is that a overly spendy client? You know, that you can net 137 bucks in 6 minutes? I don't know. But I love this markets for that reason. And then if I have a little more time, now listen, I've already traded today early in the morning from my phone I'm actually semi-bedridden right now. I'm still recovering from this surgery. Right now, half of my face and my cheek are frozen like I had a tooth extracted. I can't blink my left eye. And I've already made, this is a 2-minute trade that I think that was around 400 bucks. And then a while later, I was in a trade. Let's see here, 68 to 73. So it's 50 bucks a point, right? So that's almost 6 points. I guess it closed. I thought I saw a higher price, but it closed me a little bit lower than I expected. Okay, then I came in here and I bought at 94 and closed at 96.50, 94.25. So there's 100 something. So I made 400 bucks there. Maybe about 600 bucks today. And it's not even 9 o'clock in the morning yet, and we're still holding. Okay, the ignition dropped and the valid score dropped to 80. You got a warning entry exit over here, and then now you're back at 100. So, you know, the market, this is that reflexivity. I want you to go to the getvmax.com website and go to the top where it says sentiment and reflexivity. There's PDFs and articles there. I want you to understand that reflexivity. It's a self-feeding loop, right? So it either happens in psychology or it happens in automation. You got to psychologically, someone walks in, they see that those candles, which they're going to typically see that the candles is red, they're going to panic and they're going to sell. I'm losing money, and they're going to sell. And then they're going to see someone else selling. That's going to trigger the next person. And so the sell is going to continue to feed itself, right? But also there's mechanical triggers, so that all the AI systems are designed, you know, to, when they've got versions of this sort of thing, right? And when they see this, they're going to like, you know what, it's time to go into a sell. So then they're going to go into a sell. And then you've got margin protections, that, you know, stop losses, etc., that are going to trigger. So it's a cascade. And that cascade, you don't have to understand these concepts fully. You don't have to know how to, you know, navigate them like a quant if you have this system that's doing these mathematical calculations behind the scenes and giving you clear, visible. All right, so we lost our ignition, right? We're back down to 80 here. That's twice that's happened to us in the last few minutes. And we have an exit warning short. So exit the short. the system suggested exiting the short here. And you can see that, well, it went down a little farther. At this point in time, it hasn't, really done a whole lot. You're really not getting paid for the time if you were in the trade, and you're just exposing yourself to risk. Because the next thing that's going to happen is at some point in time, somebody's algorithm or some major player or a group of retail traders are going to see a supply zone opportunity, or what they perceive as a supply zone opportunity. So they're going to start buying whatever the asset is that we're trading, which we happen to be trading the E-mini or ES right now. Okay. ES E-mini. That's the contract I trade, the E-mini, not the micro. Okay. So at some point in time, there's going to be a reversal. It's going to come back. It's just what the market does. So we're at this point in time, you're at 80. You can still be, you could be holding, and at 64, there it goes. You're making money. We came in here. This is a 15-minute video, right? Now this thing's still making money. So we came in at 72.75, right? We're at 66. So that's 6 times 5, or 6 times 50. That's about $300 for 15 minutes. And I'm sitting here talking to you. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's $500. Okay. I think that's should be enough. That's probably about as much patience as you have, right? Well, if it was as much patience as you had, you're still in profit, but it gave back a lot of it. In fact, we went from 500 to 50, but we also have, well, there it is. It's over. There it is. There's the end. And so if you had run this thing from our entry to the end, to an invalid 40 with the ignition at 0, you got 2 blue candles. You you'd have made $150. Or we followed our stop loss. I saved 12 minutes and I made 137. Now we're done.